The year is 1812. Napoleon Bonaparte, Emperor of the French, stands at the gates of Moscow. He has done what many thought impossible. He has conquered Russia. The Tsar is gone, fled east into the vastness of Asia. Napoleon's army is weary but triumphant. The Russian bear is caged. But Napoleon is no ordinary conqueror. He does not come to Russia with fire and sword. He comes offering peace and prosperity. He has seen the devastation of war. He knows that true victory lies not in crushing your enemy, but in winning their hearts and minds. Napoleon promises the Russian people a new era of peace and prosperity. He promises them representation in his government. He promises them a chance to share in the glory of the French Empire. It is a gamble. But it is a gamble that will pay off handsomely. The Russian people are wary at first. They have heard tales of the French emperor. They have been told he is a monster, a tyrant, a devil in human form. But as the days turn into weeks, and the weeks into months, they see that Napoleon is not the monster they feared. He treats them with respect. He listens to their grievances. He addresses their concerns. He rebuilds their shattered cities. He provides food for their hungry. He heals their sick. Slowly, tentatively, the Russian people begin to warm to their new emperor. Napoleon's compassion is not a show. He genuinely cares about the well-being of his new subjects. He sees the potential in Russia, its vast resources, its hardy people. He knows that a strong Russia allied with France would be an unstoppable force in the world. With Russia secure, Napoleon's ambitions grow even larger. He has successfully neutralized one of his greatest threats in the East, and now, his eyes are set on a new prize. Napoleon turns his attention back to his old enemy, Great Britain. The island nation has been a thorn in his side for years, and he knows that to truly dominate Europe, he must find a way to bring Britain to its knees. He knows that to truly rule Europe, he must break the back of the British Navy. The Royal Navy is the lifeline of the British Empire, protecting its trade routes and colonies across the globe. He needs a new fleet, and he needs it fast. The French shipyards spring into action, working around the clock to build a formidable armada that can challenge British supremacy at sea. Napoleon leverages the resources of his vast empire. From the forests of Russia to the shipyards of France, every corner of his dominion is mobilized for this grand endeavor. He uses the timber of Russian forests to build new ships. The tall, sturdy trees provide the perfect material for constructing the hulls of his warships. He uses the manpower of his conquered territories to crew them. Soldiers and sailors from all over Europe are conscripted into service, united under the French flag. He uses the gold of his treasury to arm them. Cannons, muskets, and ammunition are purchased in vast quantities, ensuring that his fleet is not only large but also well equipped. Within a year, a mighty French fleet sails the Baltic Sea. The sight of so many warships, bristling with cannons, strikes fear into the hearts of those who see it. The British, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of this new fleet, are ill-prepared for a confrontation. Their intelligence had failed to predict the speed and scale of Napoleon's naval buildup. They underestimate the size and strength of the French Navy. Confident in their historical dominance at sea, they are slow to react to the new threat. The Battle of the Baltic, when it comes, is a disaster for the British. The French fleet, well-prepared and highly motivated, overwhelms the British defenses with sheer numbers and firepower. Their ships are sunk, their sailors captured or killed. The once mighty Royal Navy suffers a humiliating defeat, and the balance of power in Europe shifts dramatically. The Baltic Sea is now a French lake. Napoleon's dominance over this crucial waterway is complete, and his dream of a Europe under French control moves one step closer to reality. With the Baltic under his control, Napoleon sets his sights on the English Channel. He knows that invading England will be no easy task, but he also knows that it is a task that must be done. Napoleon amasses his forces at Boulogne. He gathers together the largest invasion force the world has ever seen. He has soldiers from every corner of his empire. He has thousands of ships, large and small. He even has a plan to ferry his troops across the channel in giant hot air balloons. The British are terrified. They know that if Napoleon sets foot on English soil, all will be lost. They fortify their coasts. They call up their militia. They pray for a miracle. But Napoleon is relentless. He will not be deterred. He is determined to conquer England, and this time he will not fail. But something unexpected happens. Just as Napoleon is about to launch his invasion, a delegation of prominent Englishmen arrives in Boulogne. They come bearing a message of peace. They have seen the might of Napoleon's army. They know that resistance is futile. They offer Napoleon a deal. They will recognize him as Emperor of Europe. They will cede their colonies to France. They will pay a hefty indemnity. In return, Napoleon will agree to leave England in peace. Napoleon, ever the pragmatist, agrees. He knows that a protracted war with England would be costly both in terms of men and money. He has already achieved his main objective, the humiliation of Great Britain. He can afford to be magnanimous in victory. Section 6. The sun never sets. With England subdued, Napoleon's grip on Europe is complete. His military genius and strategic prowess have left an indelible mark on the continent. The once mighty British Empire now bows to his will, and the rest of Europe watches in awe and trepidation. From the Atlantic coast of Spain to the steppes of Russia, his word is law. The vast expanse of his empire stretches across diverse cultures and landscapes, each now unified under his banner. The sheer scale of his dominion is unprecedented in modern history. He turns his attention to consolidating his power and building his new empire. His vision is not just of military conquest but of a lasting legacy. He meticulously plans the administration and governance of his territories, ensuring that his rule is both effective and enduring. Under Napoleon's rule, Europe experiences a period of unprecedented peace and prosperity. Trade flourishes as barriers are removed and new routes are established. Markets bustle with activity, and the economy thrives like never before. The arts and sciences blossom. Patronage from Napoleon and his court leads to a renaissance of creativity and innovation. Artists, writers, and scientists find new opportunities to explore their crafts, leading to groundbreaking discoveries and timeless masterpieces. Napoleon's armies, no longer needed for war, are put to work building roads, bridges, and canals. These infrastructure projects not only improve connectivity across the empire but also symbolize the strength and unity of Napoleon's reign. The French Empire becomes a beacon of civilization, a shining example for the rest of the world to follow. Paris, the heart of the empire, stands as a testament to the grandeur and sophistication of Napoleon's vision. Napoleon's ambitions, however, do not end with Europe. His gaze turns outward, towards the vast, uncharted territories beyond the continent. He dreams of a global empire, where French influence and culture can reach every corner of the world. He has long dreamed of spreading French influence to every corner of the globe. His ships set sail from French ports, carrying explorers, diplomats, and traders to distant lands. Each voyage is a step towards realizing his grand vision. He sends expeditions to explore the jungles of Africa, the deserts of Arabia, and the islands of the Pacific. These missions are not just about discovery, but also about establishing French presence and influence in these remote regions, and the islands of the Pacific. Each new land encountered brings with it new opportunities for trade, alliances, and cultural exchange. The world begins to feel the reach of Napoleon's ambition. He establishes trading posts in India and China. These outposts become hubs of commerce and cultural exchange, further extending the influence of the French Empire into Asia. He even sponsors a daring expedition to Antarctica. This bold move underscores his relentless pursuit of knowledge and dominance, pushing the boundaries of exploration to the very ends of the earth. Section 7. A New World Order. The world under Napoleon is a very different place. It is a world without major wars. A world where French is the language of diplomacy and culture. It is a world where the ideals of the Enlightenment, liberty, equality, fraternity, are spreading to every corner of the globe. But it is also a world where Napoleon's word is law. He rules his vast empire with an iron fist. Dissent is not tolerated. Freedom of speech is curtailed. Those who dare to oppose Napoleon are swiftly dealt with. Napoleon's empire is a paradox, a force for both good and evil. It has brought peace and prosperity to millions, but at the cost of freedom and liberty. It is a world where the sun never sets on the French Empire, but also a world where the shadows of tyranny are lengthening. Section 8. Whispers of Rebellion. As the years pass, cracks begin to appear in Napoleon's perfect empire. In the conquered territories, resentment of French rule festers. Nationalist movements emerge demanding independence. Rebellions break out, first in Spain, then in Italy, then in Germany. Napoleon, now an old man, struggles to maintain control of his vast empire. He sends his armies to crush the rebellions, but they are spread thin. His generals, once loyal, begin to question his judgment. His people, once adoring, begin to grumble about high taxes and constant wars. The seeds of discontent, sown in the early days of the empire, are now bearing fruit. Napoleon's dream of a united Europe under French rule is crumbling before his eyes. The empire he built with blood and iron is on the verge of collapse. Section 9. What might have been. Napoleon's conquest of Russia in 1812 is a pivotal moment in this alternate history. Imagine a world where his campaign was not a disastrous failure, but a resounding success. The harsh Russian winter, which historically decimated his troops, instead becomes a mere footnote in his grand narrative. His army, well prepared and resilient, marches triumphantly through the snow-covered landscape, securing a decisive victory. It is the victory that allows him to consolidate his power in Europe and project French influence across the globe. With Russia under his control, Napoleon's ambitions know no bounds. He redraws the map of Europe, turning it into a vast French empire. His influence extends beyond the continent, reaching the far corners of the world. But it is also the victory that leads to his downfall. The very success that bolsters his empire also sows the seeds of its destruction. The conquered territories, though vast, are fraught with unrest and rebellion. The cost of maintaining such a sprawling empire begins to weigh heavily on Napoleon. The Napoleonic Empire, vast and powerful as it is ultimately unsustainable. The sheer size of the empire makes it difficult to govern effectively. The diverse cultures and peoples within its borders resist assimilation, leading to constant strife and conflict. It is built on conquest and maintained by force. Napoleon's military might is unmatched, but it is also his greatest weakness. The continuous need for expansion and control drains the empire's resources and exhausts its people. It is a house of cards, destined to collapse as soon as the winds of change begin to blow. The empire's foundation is shaky, built on the fragile premise of perpetual conquest. As soon as resistance grows stronger and the conquered peoples rise up, the empire begins to crumble. In the end, Napoleon's legacy is a mixed one. He is a figure of immense complexity, embodying both the heights of human ambition and the depths of human folly. His achievements are monumental, but so are his failures. He is remembered as a brilliant military strategist, a charismatic leader, and a ruthless tyrant. His ability to inspire and lead men into battle is legendary, yet his relentless pursuit of power leaves a trail of destruction in its wake. He is both the architect of a new world order and the author of his own downfall. His vision for a unified Europe under French rule is revolutionary, but his methods are ultimately his undoing. Exiled and defeated, he spends his final days reflecting on what might have been. He is a figure of endless fascination, a subject of countless debates and discussions. Historians and scholars continue to analyze his life and legacy, trying to understand the man behind the myth. A reminder that even the most powerful empires are built on foundations of sand. The story of Napoleon serves as a cautionary tale, illustrating the transient nature of power and the inevitable decline of even the greatest empires.